All right, Tina, come on up here.
My name's Tina and I'm an addict.
Hey, Tina.
So Scott asked me to speak at this convention back in July, and I was really at a different place than what I'm at today. And it's so funny that we're going to talk about, or that I'm supposed to talk about unity, because whenever I first got clean, my clean day is May 11, 2020, and so I went to treatment, and in treatment they were like, hey, you got to get a sponsor, or you don't get to see your husband, you don't get to see your kids. And so I'm like, I'll do whatever you say, because I wanted to see my husband and my kids. And so I get this sponsor, and I can remember being like 2 weeks abstinence, because there's a difference between recovery and abstinence, right? And so I was on the phone with her, and I was just crying about how much I love my kids. And she said, no, you don't. I could have reached the phone, and I was like, what the hell? What do you mean? Yes, I do. And so she was like, if you really loved your kids, you'd do something different. And so, like, my higher power that day not only allowed me to hear that, but, like, allowed me to feel that. It shook everything within me. And so I was like, okay, well, I remember her telling me in the beginning that somebody had to teach her how to get high whenever she went to the dope house. So whenever she decided to get clean, she had to let somebody teach her how to get clean. And so I decided, what the hell, I'm going to let somebody lead me, right? And she was really big into service. So, like, as you know, with 60 Days Clean, I was chairing meetings, I was H&I, I was all these different things, you know what I mean? And I had never felt a part of anything until Narcotics Anonymous. And so I lived, ate, and breathed Narcotics Anonymous. And so I'm going to tell you, in 2024, I switched careers, and I had been married to a guy. We went to treatment together. We got the same clean day, but we're not married anymore. And so I got this job, and I started making all this money, and I thought I could do it alone. And there were some other things going on with me personally, and so I was like, hey, I want a divorce. And I was still going to meetings and doing all the things, and then I met someone that is not one of us. And so I married really quickly because I'm codependent, and I'm like, oh, red flag, hell yes. You want to get married? Fucking right I do. Let's go. You know what I mean? So I'm in a marriage now with somebody that is not like me and has no understanding for Narcotics Anonymous. So I think it's like nothing but God to have me here talking about unity, you know what I mean? Or what I believe in. So I know that unity is super important, and again, like in the beginning, it was so important to me, and all the things, and like the gentleman before me was sharing, like the love that you feel in Narcotics Anonymous. My dad passed away this past year, and like Narcotics Anonymous people showed up, all throughout my divorce. Narcotics Anonymous people showed up, and Narcotics Anonymous has given me so much, but I'm going to tell you, I've never had friendships or felt so much a part of as I do today. It's crazy how you can know all these things and then still not act the way that you're supposed to. It's like sometimes I just want to shake myself, like, what the fuck are you doing? I was on the phone with my sponsor yesterday, and my favorite thing to say is, I know. So, like, she's so tired of me saying I know, and I was like, you know what, I think I'll just dumb the fuck down and let you help me. What do you got for me? And so, I don't know, guys. I know that unity is important, and I know that I wouldn't have anything that I have today without Narcotics Anonymous. Whenever I went to treatment, the lady that owned the place came in and spoke with us, and so she's super intuitive, and she told me a couple of things. Number one, that anything I put before my recovery, I'm going to lose, and then I have everything that I need within inside of me. And so, I'm hoping that this convention lights a fire under my ass to remember all the good things, because I love Narcotics Anonymous, you know what I mean? I love being a part of. I know that this thing saved my life, you know what I mean? And I'm super grateful. And there's this guy back at home in the meetings, and he was like, I fucking hate gratitude meetings. He does not like them. And so, because he's like, you talk about all these things that you're grateful for, but then you don't show it. So if I'm truly grateful for Narcotics Anonymous in my recovery, then I'll nurture that shit and take care of it, right? So, I don't know, I'm super grateful to be here with all of you guys. I'm glad that my sponsor showed up for me. I love her. I'm super thankful for her. Yeah, and I'm thankful that Scott, that Scott asked me to speak here, even though speaking is not my jam. but I can do a bunch of shit, but public speaking ain't one of them. Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you for letting me share. Yeah, that's it, buddy.
Thanks, Tina.
You're so welcome.
I'm Dee. I'm an addict.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Dee. We got a little bit of time left, so what I'm going to do now is open the floor and see if anyone would like to share on tradition one. If you would, just come on up here.
Well, show us how real quick, and then we'll come.
Come on, Dee. Does anyone want to share on tradition one?
Hey, Mason.
I could talk on it all day long, but I'm not going to do that.
Share real quick.
All right, thank
Hey.
you.
Alright, this you're awesome, bro. Sorry for stepping on your toe there. Thanks, Patrick. My name's Brad. I'm an addict.
Hey, Brad.
Tina. Okay, yeah. I'm sitting back listening to the unity, and it made me think when I first came to NA, I didn't feel the unity, and I think that's why I kept relapsing. I knew that it worked, but I don't know. And then just this last year is when I really just started to just feel the unity and the love, and it's a game changer. Okay, for me, I'm all in now. You know what I mean? Before I was just kind of putting my toe in, going, okay, I think this thing will work. Had reservations, and I don't know. I just wanted to say that I too am so grateful for Narcotics Anonymous, and it's ironic that this is on the traditions because I've really have been getting into our understanding our predecessors and what they went through to make these traditions. And it's like, wow, dude, this is really cool, man. I mean, it's evolving into a whole new, I don't know, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful, Patrick. Thank you for everything. The grand sponsor, thank you. That's it for me.
All right. Thanks,
Thanks, Steve.
So I'm Dee. I'm an addict.
Hey, Dee.
So I will talk a little bit. I know it didn't take long. On tradition one, well, one of the things I think is interesting is, I moved along a little bit in this journey, and I started learning more about the traditions. Which, when I came into the rooms, my first home group was on fire for traditions. So as I worked a step with my sponsor, I worked a tradition. And I'm so grateful for that today because it seemed I was being prepared for farther down the road as I moved and I became involved with a new home group in a new area. And so what I would like to say is, what I recognize today is before I ever got a sponsor, before I ever started working these steps, I was introduced to traditions. First meeting I went to, there it was, unity within the rooms. And that wasn't something I was familiar with. I came to the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, I heard the message in treatment, where I arrived to treatment from jail. So I was very familiar with disunity, with chaos, anarchy, with me, and you are the enemy, whoever you are. And in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, one of the first things I experienced, which was totally uncomfortable, was that hug, that spiritual principle of the hug. And I can remember one of the guys who gave me the hug, this big old dude, well, they call him John Motherfucker. I keep wanting to say that every time I get to speak. But anyway, he had this hug where he put both arms around you and pull you in. And I wanted to get out of there, man. But the thing was, something happened in that moment. Something broke loose. Because I can remember it still to this day. What it was I had a connection. I didn't know what it was. I can recognize it today. I had a connection of an intimate form. Because I was unfamiliar with it, it was scary. But, I stuck around. They told me, keep coming back. But then also someone said, or you could just stay. That's what I got to do. It's a gift for me to come in to be part of. And I love the term common welfare. Because welfare, I had a different understanding of that when I came to the rooms. I was like, well, we're getting food stamps. And, that wasn't it at all. But what I got was support, love, all kinds of things. I remember one of the first times somebody asked me, you know, come on, get in the car with us and go out to dinner. And I was like, I don't have any money. And they're like, shut up, just get in the car.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that was amazing because I was really in my mind thinking, what do I have to do to get this? And that's what I got in NA, was everything was so freely given to me. You know, love, support, generosity. These spiritual principles and the spiritual principle of unity is something that I examine in my life today. You know, I learned how to be a part of by coming to NA and being a part of. It took some effort on my behalf too. You know, it was a very little bit at first, but that was a change. As I started doing those things, I grew closer to the fellowship. I got closer to the individuals, and I got closer to myself. You know, but you guys, I love that term. Some people don't like it. Taught me how to love you love me until I learn how to love myself. I understand that today. And it gets deeper and deeper as I practice unity. I practice it in my family. I got to go and have a Thanksgiving with family members that this was my 5th Thanksgiving clean. And I was reflecting on it afterwards when I was flying here to Memphis. I was on the plane and I was just sitting there thinking about how different things were after, you know, each holiday. But today, yesterday, I got to go and support my family, you know, I was the mediator between my sisters. I was comforting my mother, who's, you know, my uncle, who's 90 years old, his wife kept introducing herself to me like, hey, who are you? And I'm like, hey, you met me 20 years ago, but thank God you don't remember. You know, things are so much different, but I learned how to practice unity in my life, at work, in my family, you know, but common welfare, what's that mean? What's best for us. It's not always what I think is best for me, but what's best for us. And now I can practice that more in my life as I progress in my life and, you know, continue on this journey. But anyway, I'll just wrap up with that. Anybody else? We still have some time, Mason.
I'll say something.
Hey, all right, Mason.
Hey.
You ain't gonna leave me alone.
No. Shout out to Living
All right,
Flame.
I'm Mason. I'm an addict. Hey, much like Dee was talking about going to that group where they were on fire for traditions or whatever. Well, I was a part of that. The bad thing is, the first thing I learned how to do with the traditions is to use them as a weapon. And what's funny is Tradition 1 talks about unity, and from the very get-go, I missed the whole idea. If I'm using the traditions in a way to tell you that you are breaking them, then I got the whole concept wrong. Like, I missed the idea completely. That's not what they're for. They're not there for me to tell you what you're doing wrong. Just like with the steps, there are spiritual principles behind the traditions, and that is the purpose. That is what I'm trying to practice, just like in the steps. So, with Tradition 1, you know, it does mention common welfare, and common welfare for me means, look, this is the last house on the block for me. I tried everything else, and I found something that works for me here. I have to do whatever it takes to stay a part of this fellowship. So what that means is sometimes I have to deal with people that I don't get along with, personality clashes, concepts that I don't believe in, people who come from different places than I do. There's our diversity in NA is what is our strength. And I have to be a part of that in order for it to work. You know, so my personal recovery depends on our ability to be unified. So if I spend more time focusing on the conflicts within my group, the people I disagree with, if every conversation I'm having about NA is to tell you what everybody there is doing wrong, nobody wants to join or jump on a sinking ship. Right? So when I practice that disunity, I'm affecting other people's personal recovery. You know, like, unfortunately, even though NA works for me, I can't do it alone. I need all of you. I said unfortunately, that's the fortunate part of it. So I have to do whatever it takes to make it attractive, not only to me, but to you as well. And, you know, sometimes it's very difficult. It's easier said than done, but it's so worth it, you know, it's so worth it. That's my biggest thing is like, the unity is the first thing that an individual sees when they walk into the door. You heard Patrick talking about it when he described it, right? Like when he walked into the door and seen the people with their kids and they're laughing and they're cutting up, it makes people, I mean, that's what I seen. I was like, damn, this is cool. You know, like, wouldn't that be nice if I could be a part of that or had something like that? If you come in and people are just like, got these, you know, grimaces on their face and it looks like they're, you know, they're putting in work, like they're checking a box because they got to go to a meeting. Nobody wants to jump on a sinking ship. You know, so it's our job to, you know, practice this principle of unity so that it's attractive to the newcomer, and that helps it tie in to the rest of the traditions and to the steps, because what is my responsibility in unity? The best thing I can do is work the damn steps. Because if I work the steps, I get better. I have more coping skills. I have more tools to deal with everything that it's going to require for me to be a part of the group and NA as a whole. And so that's the best thing I can do to practice unity is work the step. Work on me. Be the best version of me, and then I'll learn how to coexist with you. All right, that's all I got.
Thank you, Mason.
Yeah.
All right, would anyone else like to share on traditional one? I think we still have a little bit of time. No? Crickets? All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap this up. If no one else has anything to share, then we'll just gather up front, circle up.